generation than what Pete was.
If you were on that plane back to Indy next week and traveling with this coaching staff and the scouts and John Schneider and everybody else, and they said, okay, Big Ray, if you had to allocate resources to really turn this roster, as you just said, we've been league average, 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. We've kind of been around and hovered around that area. But if we're going to take some steps here with Mike McDonald and this new young staff, where do we allocate our resources, both in free agency and certainly into the draft?
Well, I agree with Pete. Before last season started, they asked him, I think one of his comments was they needed to close a gap in the trenches between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And I couldn't agree more. I think on both sides of the ball, with the interior guard, center guard, with this on offense, there's a lot of dudes that are up. Lewis, Brown, and Haynes, there's a chance that they may not be back. I do think that they're good players, but I don't know if they made especially Lewis, man. I really thought Lewis was going to be one of the top guards in the league. He just didn't make strides from one year to the next. And then Haynes just can't stay healthy and on the field. But I do think that they need to find, and this is what I think too, like in the second, third, fourth round, some of those, you can find some guards and centers and defensive tackles that are freaking meat eaters. Like, you don't need to have – everyone doesn't need to be a superstar. Everyone doesn't need to be the first rounder. But you need some dudes that are just freaking meat eaters. They just want to go freaking eat up defensive linemen or eat up offensive linemen. They need dudes like that that can do that. And I don't know that they've really filled those gaps in the previous years. Jaron Reed, I think is a good player, but he's up in age. The big dude that they got from the Giants last year, I don't know if they'll be able to afford him, but they do need to find some meat eaters that can close the gap. I mean, because that's where it all starts, man. I'm telling you, if you can't protect and if you can't run the football, you're probably not going to win very many games. If you can't rush the quarterback and you can't stop the run, you're not going to run. You're not going to win very many football games, and all that starts in the trenches.
So you and I agree on that 100%. I mean, that's exactly where I would want them to start their process as well. The problem is they don't have that many resources to do it. No second-round pick. They may need a quarterback at some point here in the near future. And this brings me back to this conversation that makes a lot of people upset because they think I don't like DK Metcalf, and nothing could be farther from the truth. I think DK's great. But if you're looking to kind of change your roster construction and make sure that you are built from the inside out, it's hard to have, one of your biggest resources be at wide receiver. And I continue to wonder if you could bring back significant talent by trading a DK Metcalf. What do you think?
Well, first, you remember when I first met you, Mike, and I sat you up on the table?
I do, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I should do right now.
Oh, come on.
But no, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. The only thing is that if you get rid of DK Metcalf, then you better make sure that on the outside that JSN is that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he better be, though. You drafted him number 20. He better be that dude. He's a first-round pick.
Yeah, but his skill set, I don't know. His skill set doesn't seem like he's like the number one dude in the NFL offense. I don't know. Just the way I see it. But DK is such a big-time, big home run player. And also, Mike McDonald is bringing over that freaking get-in-your-face physical style of football. And DK is that. And so, so you can't you can't sell that part of it short either, because it's become a quarterback and receiver league. And so if you don't have the receivers that can either carry a good quarterback, or you don't have a great quarterback that can carry the Kansas City Chiefs receivers, then man, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with that too. But I do get what you. When you first posted it, I was like, man, let me go over here and talk to Mike for a little bit, But when I listen to your explanation of it, I do get it.
It's not an insane idea. And by the way, if you can't get enough back for him, I'm out. It's not like I'm trying to trade DK at all costs.
I like the way Ray characterized that. Let's be very clear.
I thought you were insane.
He rocked you like a little baby. He picked you up and he rocked you like a little baby. He swallowed you and then he put you on the table.
So for those that don't know the story,
but they do have to do something too, Mike. Because even in free agency, there's not a whole lot of good top high-end like guards and centers that are available. There's only like maybe two that are, decent, and then the rest of them are pretty much what you have on your roster. And so then you're going to have to figure out some way to either a combination of the dudes you already have and then find someone to draft. And the Seahawks have always done well trading down and getting extra picks and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what they come up with.
Okay, we'll start with a little Blue 88. This will be like the first question for Blue 88. You don't have to play the bumper more, but we're kind of right up to Blue 88. When you say a freaking meat eater, who comes to Ray Roberts' mind? Like the absolute freaking meat eater. Who is it?
In the league in general?
Sure.
Whoever you think of. Maybe somebody you played with. Who's a meat eater?
Trent Williams is a meat eater.
Yeah.
Trent Williams does not mess around. Like he's a really good football player. He's getting a little bit older, but he's kind of a nasty kind of player, and I like him. I like Creed Humphreys with the Chiefs. He's a smaller dude, and so he has to be a meat eater type of player to be successful, to be a Pro Bowler, to be a all pro type player. And so I think you have to have guys that have that mentality that every time they go on the field that they are the weapon. Like an offensive, like we don't think of offensive linemen as weapons, and but Trent Williams is a weapon. Creed Humphreys is a weapon. There's other guys in the league that are on the offensive line that are weapons. They're not just big strong dudes trying to move other big strong dudes, and I think that's probably one of the most offensive line play is probably the most misunderstood lack of knowledge position in all the sports.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Most people don't know why they're successful and why they're not.
So let me ask you quickly then, Ray, because we got to run here. But quickly, can Charles Cross be one of those guys? I mean, that's a top 10 pick. Can he be is he one of those meat eaters?
Well, I do think Charles Cross, when he was healthy, was doing better in the run game. He wasn't always like a real physical dude in the run game. But he was kind of getting that way, and I think he's going to be a really good pass protector too. I think he does a really good job, but every now and again, just a little bit too far up the field, and people come underneath him, and so. But that's a technique thing. But I think he has it all. But the real true meat eater on that offensive line when he's healthy is Abe Lucas.
Yeah.
Abe Lucas when Abe is healthy,
he'll eat the grizzle. Yeah.
Abe eats the gristle, the bone, the meat,
like in the great outdoors.
What's
the matter with you?
Yeah, all of it.
All of it. Just don't know what that knee is going to be, and so because to me, he's a tone setter on the offensive on the whole offense. To me, is Abe Lucas when he's healthy.